Hi all, my name is Deepak Durgaprasad Bhatt and I welcome you today on this talk of EdifiTalk based on agility and agile. So before we get into the aspect of agility and agile, I would like to get into some background about it and then we'll get into that. So let's understand how our software industry works. We have people who are working for organization and we frequently deliver value to the customers that actually meet customer demands. So everybody is happy. But over a period of time, there are some changes that are expected from the customers or the customers want to make in their process. So they again reach out to the organization or vendor who would help them implement those changes. The vendors or the organization make those changes as part of their roadmap, and then those changes are sent back to the people of that organization or vendor who help achieve those changes. And that in short is how our software industry works. Now in all of these talks, the most important thing to realize is the aspect of change. And especially for our software industry, it is very important for us to realize that changes are inevitable. Are we there from a change perspective from a software industry? Unfortunately, no. So we try to go for the change, but we always find difficult to adapt that change. Because as software industry, what we are not realizing is changes are bound to happen. Today, if we have something called data science come in, machine learning come in, AI come in, and as industry, we are struggling to adapt to those softwares or get those people on board because we never had a plan on how we are going to go for that or how we are going to adapt to those changes that are coming in. So it is very important for our software industry to realize that changes are inevitable. Now from 1955 to 1995, around 69.4% of the organizations dropped off the map. From 1995 to 2015, around 62.4% organizations lost relevance in the market. Why? Because of one simple reason. They were not willing to change. They were not willing to adapt those change into their process and they lost relevance. Where you see, we have very common examples like Nokia, BlackBerry, Kodak, once the kings, now no more relevant in the market. So as a software industry, it is very important for us to realize that changes are bound to happen. With the advent of internet and amount of data that we have in our hand today, nothing is enough anymore. So as an organization, we have to see how we can continuously evolve and adapt those changes that are coming in the world and implement it in our process so that we are relevant. See the Facebook, example of Facebook. It was king 10 years back. It is still the king today. A lot of competitors came, but everybody went away. Why? Facebook realized the important aspect of implementing changes as they went year by year. And whatever changes were there, they put it in their process, they offered it to the customer and they stayed relevant. So changes are inevitable, my friends. A change can be as simple as the omni-channels that we have in our personal life. The omni-channels that I talk about is the Idea stores or the Vodafone stores or the Airtel stores that are there. What are those stores all about? They have come about from the change that the customers demanded from those organizations. Earlier, when those stores were not there, *123#, many times get disconnected, 9 times get connected, and still we did not get our answers. But with this omni-channels, we just step into those stores and we get our queries resolved. So that's a change that was introduced by that industry because they wanted to stay relevant. And this is something what our software industry also has to realize. In 70s, there was a law which was proposed by Moore and it came to be known as Moore's Law, which said that going forward every year, the circuit board that we are working on is going to shrink, but the number of components on the circuit board are going to increase. So what Moore wanted to say was that going forward, the complexity of the things that we are going to work on is going to increase. So it is time for us to adapt to that complexity, and same holds true for software industry. Going forward, things are not going to become simpler, they're going to become more complex. So how are we there to adapt to those changes? And if we do not do that, we lose relevance. So it's day and age of digital disruption, we say, and digital disruption is affecting everything across the globe. So how do we as an organization go about addressing this digital disruption that is happening in our industry? It's time for us to introduce agility in our organization. Or agility in easier terms is the ability to meet customer needs, whatever they are. So for that, we have to make some changes in our organization, some changes in our organization works. We need to have a strategic agility, a strategy which is not fixed. So tomorrow, if any changes come in, we can immediately make changes to those strategy. We need to have business agility in our organization. And business agility is all the buzzword in our industry right now. Everybody is striving to achieve that business agility. So what is this business agility all about, and how are we going to achieve it? So what is this agile all about? First important aspect of agile is it's a cultural change. It's a change in mindset. If you want to achieve business agility within your organization, it is very important for you to have that change in mindset. It is very important to have that way of thinking from an organization perspective, from a people perspective, from a project perspective, for the business agility to truly succeed. Just having policies and procedures and rules in place is not going to work if the people are not willing to change, if that changes mindset is not going to happen. So it's very important for us to see that this cultural change gets introduced in the organization for business agility to succeed. So for business agility to be actually achieved within an organization, it needs to have some following things happening for it. First, decentralization, where the power of decisions is shared with everybody. Making decisions is shared with everybody. Second is free to experiment. Experimentation, innovation is promoted. Autonomy, teams are given autonomy to make those decisions regarding a project functionality or code. Transparency, everything is transparent, nothing is hidden, everything is visible for everybody to see. Feedback mechanism, presence of feedback mechanism, so that if anybody is going or deviating away from path or plan, they are immediately informed that no, you're not doing it right, or if they're doing it good, yes, you're doing it good. So having that feedback mechanism in place. Implementation of a change, that's what it's all about. So any changes come in, it is easier to go and adapt to those changes. And collaboration, it is very important for teams, for people, for participants, for management and the team to collaborate with one another. Then only you will come up with good quality products. And this is what business agility is achieved. This is how it can be achieved. But these are also the principles that are related to agile. So if you're an organization who is deciding to go or trying to go the business agility way, or try to achieve the business agility, why not try agile? See and try to implement those agile principles. If it works, well and good. If it does not work, try something else. But if it works, why not continue on with it? So to conclude with, guys, it is very important for one to realize that the buzzword today in the industry is business agility. And for organizations to stay relevant, they have to strive to achieve that business agility. And one way of going about it is going the agile way. Now, ADFE Path has introduced a course which is called as Introduction to Agile. It's a wonderful course which is of around 18 to 20 hours of material, which talks about agile and talks about how you can go about achieving that agility. It takes you through various aspects of agile from a methodology perspective, from a framework perspective. There are some assessments that are associated with it, and there are various videos which help you understand the concepts better. And then we have two major projects in it. One project is self-explained in the video, and the other project is something that you would have to do on your own. Working on that project will help you understand how things work in an agile way and make you get help from a practical purpose. So whatever is taught in the theory in those videos, you have a chance to implement it practically. So take time and go through that material, and it will help you become agile and it will help you achieve that agility. Thank you.